Good morning, everybody, and welcome to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive safe, Dave here. I'm not by myself. I know it appears that I'm by myself, but I'm not quite by myself. I've got Sir Rick manning the boards over there. Good morning, Sir Rick. How are you doing?
Top of the morning, sir. How was that weekend?
That weekend was a little crazy. I had a couple of things going on this weekend, and my mom came in this weekend, picked her up from the airport, and let me tell you, you get a German in the house, things tend to go a little crazy. It's not like you would think. It's like the commandant has arrived, and we've had quite a few things going on at the house. She went to bed after I did, and guess what? She was up at 3:30 this morning banging around in the kitchen. So I just want to let you know things are going on at the Dovers.
All right. So, Mom, she get up and she make you breakfast. What's that typical day like, Drive Safe?
Well, today she was up. She's preparing a meal this evening for the family. She's got a big pot she's making, a bunch of stuff. So we've got like 14 people coming over this evening.
Whoa. We're talking brownies? What are we talking here?
No.
Hey, we're in Texas. This isn't Colorado. I don't know what's allowed over there in North Carolina.
I don't think.
But you know what? It's not allowed here. Keep the pot down to a minimum.
Yeah. It's crock pot.
Oh, crock pot.
I don't know what she's got. I don't know. She had a whole thing scattered out this morning when I walked into the kitchen. Did not get involved. Thought it best that I just divert around. She's got a big meal she's cooking up for today, for this evening, for the family and friends. So she's already started.
That's good. Hey, listen, we got a big week ahead of us today on BCB Live. Tomorrow we have Sheriff Lamb, Mark Lamb, America's Sheriff. We can't wait to have him on. He's going to talk a little bit about, probably, I can promise you the border will come up, Drive Safe Dave.
It should.
I can promise you that. There'll be some trucking as well coming involved in the conversation. But to have Sheriff Lamb on the show, it kind of did, again, it's showing where this BCB Live is going. People are excited to not only to learn about the safety, to learn about trucking, to learn just a little bit more about what we are, who we are, what we do. But Dave, they're excited. I think they're looking for that publicity that comes from being on BCB Live.
Yeah, you know, once they hit this, that's a new step in their career. They actually get a moment in which they become, I would consider them just borderline famous once they get on the BCB Live deal and they get to be here. So Mark Lamb's coming on. He actually, I think he called us and said, hey, you know what? I think your listeners need to hear what's going on out here along this I-8, I-10 corridor in Arizona. And we are happy to have Sheriff Lamb on. You know, if he wants to speak, we will give him the format to do so. Right, Sir Rick? We will make it happen.
Yeah, no doubt about it. What Sheriff Lamb gets, what he asks, he gets. He's a big old boy too. He's gonna go and tell you. You'll see. He's not scared of much. He's getting up bright and early though too. Drive Safe, Dave. I mean, we're talking that California time out there. He's in Pino Pala or whatever, Palo Pinto County.
Right.
It's a different time zone. He's not yet working, but he's probably going to be in full gear on the show talking about safety. Hey, Drive Safe Dave, speaking of safety, we had a plane crash at DHL in Costa Rica. We had videos of that too. I can't get it on here, but it was a freighter that had just left DHL. It takes off. They feel like there's something going on with the hydraulics. They come back and make a landing, and true to their belief, there was something wrong with their hydraulics. They couldn't stop either. They put it on they do
a donut.
They do a little Starsky and Hutch action. We saw Starsky and Hutch in the D8, and it slides off the.
You've just dated yourself, Sir Rick. You just dated yourself.
Slides off of it, and they go into the ground. The plane kind of breaks in half.
Bo and Luke Duke right there, some action right there in the truck. But they did. They were both unhurt.
Yeah. And you know what? And that's the most important thing. Great job. I saw the landing. I don't. Many things I've done, landing a plane isn't one of them. However, it did
crash
it looked textbook. Because you had two options: either you make that hard turn like they did, or you go off the runway. Going off the runway, they say, is very, very dangerous. You don't want to do that because you really do lose control. They stopped it, skid it, broke it.
Yeah, grounded it into the dirt.
They didn't ground it, they broke it. That sucker snapped in half.
Yeah, the tail section broke away from.
I wonder
the
what that
fuselage.
tow bill's going to look like. We saw that tow bill up in. I don't know. Did we talk about that last week? We saw the story on that. A tow
$46,000.
$46,000 on a trailer that was towed up in Utah.
Yeah, and it was done in that Cheyenne, Wyoming area, and it fit 46 grand. And there was a dispute. Imagine them disputing that tow bill. Imagine that.
And did you just catch that where the tow company says, no, that wasn't it. We sent them the tow bill and somebody doctored a 4 in front of it. And I'm thinking, all right, first of all, who wants to, why, if the bill was $6,000, why would I doctor to $46,000? Do I want to pay you more? I mean, none of that made sense. It was like the third or fourth complaint they've had on the same thing, taking advantage of situations out there. Hey, Dave, we talk about this landing at DHL. I want to bring this up right here because that alone is why I would never, even though I'm not one, I couldn't, first of all, I couldn't afford to go to space. But to be able to go to space, we have some folks 3 people going up to space for like a week.
Yeah. Hey, meals are included.
If we can't land a plane here safely, I'm not feeling real comfortable about landing back here in the States. That's got to be scary. These folks, 3, it's one American, one
Canadian.
Israeli, and one Canadian. These folks have enough money, and it was like $53 million apiece.
Yeah, but meals are included.
It goes 53 million. Hey, but all meals included, right? Everything, all inclusive.
Yeah.
You know what? If you've ever wondered if all inclusive are the best deal, here's proof that it's not.
Yeah. So
meal drive
okay. So here you go. You got normally when you get on an airplane, they go through the little deal. The stewardess on the seat belts and if the deal comes down, I wonder how kind of conversations go on before you get on the space rocket.
I think there's a lot of last phone calls going out. I know they were excited when you get there, a lot of phone, but I can guarantee you this, drive safe. And they don't hold bars. It's another astronaut taking them up that did it before, telling them, hey, just kind of spilling it to them. Hey, look, there's no guarantees when you get up here.
Yeah.
There's no guarantees. And it's a Russian space. Right? Isn't Russia man that thing? There's like 3 Russians up there that live up there full time. It's a Russian space station, yeah. So going up there,
Mir or whatever it is.
In its own is odd, But I guess as long as Russia doesn't cut that off that would be odd, I guess, right? They say, all right, no more going to space for you, Americans. Go to my spaceship no more.
Hey, if you won't give me, if you're going to sanction my oil, I'm going to sanction your rocket ship. But no, I'll tell you, they're going up there. $55 million is a lot of money to go on a vacation, right?
Yeah, it's a chunk of change. There's no doubt about it. I mean, you've got, and I know that's got to be cool, but not that cool. I mean, it's not that cool. I guess to say you're one of the ones, and Russia's been doing this for decades, right? For a long time, sending people up there. Right. NASA, we are just now allowing this to happen here in the States.
Yeah, I mean, for a long time we said, no, professionals only. We only want professionals only to go out there. And then somebody said, well, you can get $55 million a ticket. And we're like, well, wait a minute, my budget. I can make budget if I sell 50 tickets.
What if that? What? It's a good thing that wasn't like 53 or 55 million plus fuel, because the fuel going up there today is out of control. That would be another $10-15 million on top
surcharge.
Of
I'm sorry, there's a fuel surcharge on there.
Hey, Drive Safe, we're going to go to a break. We're going to come back. We go to the break. We're going to talk a little Utility Pro. You'll see that on the advertisement. But let's just talk a little bit about Utility Pro. Utility Pro is that clothing, that PPE product, right? PPP or PPE?
PPE.
Yeah, PPE. And all these PPEs got me. PPE product. And they are out there, and you can log into their website, Utility Pro. Put in BCB 20 for a 20% discount. But Dave, what we do when we talk about the PPE product, I still think it's PPP.
Personal protective equipment, I believe is what.
Personal protection property.
I thought it was what?
Just utility property.
Is that what you're going with?
I'm going property.
I think it's personal protective equipment. I think that's
Utility Pro. They have PPE and PPP product. Probably.
PPP.
They have one of them, but here it is, though, Dave. What I love about Utility Pro is not only is it solid wear, it's comfortable, it fits you. but it's long lasting, Dave. What I love about Utility Pro is they're going out there making a difference, because when we're out there in the trucks, when we're out there in the yards, when we're out there driving, walking, or doing anything, we must be seen, especially at nighttime, but also in daylight, right? Drive safe. And you see those construction workers that's on your patch right now. Yeah. They always have that PPE, PPP, PPR, PPL product on.
Where are you going? I will tell you, it's Work Zone Awareness. This week starts Work Zone Awareness Week, and that's one of the reasons why I wore this shirt, was to demonstrate and also to make everyone aware that this is Work Zone Awareness Week. It is the law out there now that they wear high visibility gear out there on the highways whenever they're doing work. And it is important, daylight, nighttime, daytime, you want to be seen. And that is the first way in which you can be safe, is if people can see you and not be shocked by you're there, and make sure that they can move around you and slow down when you get into these work zones. Give them the respect needed in these work zones, as we talk about it this week. But that ANSI certified gear makes a difference out there on the road. And you know those stripes that they have, those reflective stripes, man, those really show up at night when you hit them with the headlights. They really make a difference. Not just the yellow, the bright yellow, but those reflective stripes, man, that you can see those from a long way away.
All right, we'll be back in about 60 seconds, folks. And listen, when we get back, maybe, just maybe, Drive Safe Dave will change into a V-neck so we can see that hair coming out with that little V-top. Drive Safe, I love the extra button. You want to show it all. You know what? Let's get dressed. We're going on air. This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility Pro Wear. Utility Pro Wear manufactures high-quality, ANSI-certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility Pro Wear gives you the added benefit of providing a barrier to liquids, dirt, and grime, keeping you cleaner longer, brighter longer, and therefore safer longer. Get your high-visibility apparel by going to utilityprowear.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
And we're back.
I didn't know what you were doing. I didn't know. You should have seen the studio action going around here. Sir Rick bouncing around chairs back there. I was kind of enjoying the show.
I was doing
from this side.
I'm doing some producing on this side. It's non-stop work right from this
like
side.
You're going, Sir Rick's going around. I'm enjoying the show over here. I'm thinking about just getting some popcorn and enjoy what's going on.
There's you know what? There's no show here, but there was a show this weekend. The Scotty Scheffler show at the Masters. Scotty's wins the Masters the dude was phenomenal. I mean, he was clutch. He got himself out of problems. It wasn't like he was perfect, Drive Safe Dave.
No.
But every time he hit out, he got right or left, outside of the fairway. He found himself, boom, hitting it right up, made putts that he needed to make.
Yep.
And let me tell you something. Oh, my gosh. Smith was right there. Smith put the heat on him early.
Yeah.
Early. Drive Safe. He was started the day at 3 under. After 2 holes, he was 1 under. He was down by 1 from the leader. He had made his move, and I was like, oh, my gosh. He's fixing to win this thing. And then, just like it happens in the Masters, he bogeyed a hole.
Yep.
In which, I think Scheffler birdied that one. So, boom, 2 holes right there. The next one is at par 3. Puts it in the water.
I saw that. He just a bad shot. He just dropped it.
Over at that point.
Yeah.
It was over at that point. And that Masters is, there's something special about that game. First of all, when you watch it on TV, there's not a lot of commercials. They show a lot of the Masters on that. So Scotty Scheffler, the morning of, this is Sunday morning, okay? Scotty's a Dallas boy, by the way, just like you. A Dallas boy, just like Drive Safe. They probably played at the same country club out there in Dallas. But at country, so he's a Dallas boy. He is, it's Sunday morning, and the guy's in tears Sunday morning. I don't know if you saw that out. He's crying. He's cried like a baby. He told my wife, because I'm not ready for this. This is Sunday. I'm leading Sunday, and I think you can play, and they say that, right? Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, you have that lead, and you're not leading. And Sunday, So I'm going to throw. So that Sunday they say this, Dave. If you're within 5 strokes with 6 holes left to go, you have a chance to win. Which is, it shows you how hard that course is, right?
And the pressure.
And the pressure is significant. So here it is. He's leading by 3. He's in tears that morning. And wife makes him a big breakfast, tries to calm him down, and says the old spouse saying, there's no chance she means this, that I'll love you whether you win or not. I'm saying, that is such the spouse thing to say. Yeah. Nobody truly, hey, honey, it don't matter. If you start your own business, I'm going to love you whether you fail or you lose. Will you really? Will you really? But it was, an emotional thing, and everybody was there to, when he finishes, wins it. He's got a spouse there. His, I don't know. He's only 25.
Yeah, you know what was really cool? He said when they were in the interview, right before 40. They put the when they put the green jacket on him, right before they put the green jacket, he said, remember he missed 2 putts. He 3-putted on the 18. Yes. He missed 2 3-foot putts. And he said, you know what? I'm thankful I missed those putts because it brought back the reality of where I'm at and what I'm doing. Because I would have been all choked up had I come in here and if I'd have putted that first one in. He said, but now because he said it broke the ice, missing those 2 simple putts, because he said I stepped back and laughed at myself because of what's going on here.
The first one was a putt. The second one's a gimme all day. He didn't miss it. And you can see the caddy, who also caddied for another I can't remember who it was. He had caddied for Rory or somebody when they won. It wasn't Rory, but somebody when they won the championship. He said you could see those 2 having that conversation, Dave. Like, all right, dude, hey, listen, settle down. You're okay. You've got this one. And, thank God he had like a major lead. Because, but I think, if you don't have that major lead, it's butterflies, but it's probably a different kind of, I think he still makes that, if you had to, knowing you had a 4 or 5 stroke lead, you felt comfortable enough just to put it out.
Yeah, his mind wasn't right there at that moment. His mind was already walking to the clubhouse.
Can you imagine, Dave? I know this is BCB Live, and but we celebrate victors, right? We celebrate these folks right here, and that's a great story. He's won over $10 million this year alone. Yeah. He's a number 1 player. He's a number 1 player in the world right now. Do you know that?
I think he's won already. What, 3 this year?
I think it's like 3rd or 4th one. But I'll be honest with you. I don't even know who the guy is in general.
You do now.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, will I next year? I don't know. You got to
do now.
Though. Yeah. But there was a player. I'm going to tell you that you say that right now, but in 2 or 3 years you may not. There was a player that won the Masters that Big Blue and I were watching the Masters Friday afternoon, and there was a guy there that won it probably 4 or 5 years ago. I still don't know. I can't even remember his name right now. And we were like, who's this guy? Brian goes, did he win that before? And sure enough, the dude won, and we didn't even heard of the guy.
Oh, wow.
So, but no, it's just, again, we celebrate. We also had, baseball weekend. Yankees and everybody I know were curious about this. They take 2 out of 3 in their home opener against those Red Sox from Boston. Not a bad start. You know what? So goes that perfect season that we were hoping for the Yankees. But we did take.
Yeah, we thought that was happening. We
took the first 2. We were well on our way to a perfect season. Once again, that goes back to probably not going to happen. Hey, drive safe, Dave. Let's do this right here. Did you see, so much to talk about. We have freight and review to talk about. We have the boldness. You know what, drive safe? You are looking Trumpish today. Trump came out this weekend.
I saw that.
And what did he say? I may be the most honest man.
Yeah, somebody asked him, he said, well, you've been through like 2 or 3 investigations and coming out clean. He said in front of a crowd, I might just be the most honest man God has ever created.
Hey, give me a Trump. Say it like Trump would say. You got this.
I must be the most honest man that God has ever created.
I don't know if his voice is that deep or not. That was close, try to say. You got to take the glass off. You got to shake your head, do something like that. And you got to just, and you got to have the hand. What does he do with his hands? He's a hand guy, right? Yeah. Is he always...
I don't. You know what? I'm sitting there and I thought, you know what? Of all the statements you're going to make, I mean, of all the statements, Mother Teresa doesn't come into mind, or you got to go. You got to go as the most honest ever created. Where's George Washington fit into American culture? Does that dude not have a slot anywhere And I do not. I shall.
Wasn't there somebody actually named that? I mean, he's not Honest Trump. That was Honest Abe, or who was that?
It was Honest Abe.
Honest Abe. I mean, and nowhere have you seen it called Honest Trump. You know,
it's a pretty bold statement to be able to. Where are
Trump's
you?
more, you know what? And he said that. And again, this is a non-political station. We pick on both sides, no matter who you are. But when it comes to Trump, he's more like a fox. You know, he's just sly. You know, he's sliding out of the way. He's able to cook those books a different way every time, depending on who's coming in. I think he has insider information on who's coming to check the books, and he slides it around. He finds their weaknesses and throws.
You know what? If you
stabs
can't find the paperwork, there's you know if all the paperwork's missing, you know it's kind of hard to prove what you're trying to do or follow the trail. Speaking of the last minute, did you see? And I put the story in late, the one about the students over in Russia.
Oh my God, can you imagine? So it was. We talked about that last week. We had that person that it was a guy that made he's 23-year-old and had that T-shirt, that slogan made because they can't speak out against the war, but so he kind of worded it around it. It didn't work. They could read in between the lines. Thrown in jail, you know, get sentenced, all that, and all of a sudden now the teachers are Dave.
Oh yeah. So the students they're kind of setting them up so that like you don't know the teacher. So hey, what's going on in Ukraine? So the teacher tries to explain it, and they're videotaping it, and they turn them into the KGB or the secret police, and of course. They're fired and they're going to get sentenced. And so if you don't like your teacher, you can always what is it we do? You get an A. Hey, I got a video. I'm going to need straight A's.
I mean, what? So Dave, I read that article. I really did, and so I need some help on this part right here. So what kind of is it? Is it communism over there? I heard you and Jack arguing about this last week. Is it or is it not?
Okay, well. To Jack's point, he's trying to say it's not true communism. And I said, well, this is not true capitalism here either. But yeah, it's communism, and that's why Russia and China are such good friends, is because they're based in communism and they're the communism belief. Yes.
So you go to school, and does it matter what grade you get? I mean, aren't you kind of predestined at some point or not? How does that work?
No, you like the smaller grades, you go in and you study, and then you take certain tests and stuff like that, and depending on how well you do,
you're going to the mines. You're going to work in the mines, my friend.
Trade schools and stuff like that, and it also has a lot to do with party affiliation and
so
also.
So the teachers got fined like $400 or rubles. I don't know. It's probably 10 million rubles, like worth.
Yeah, it's not really
now.
It's not. They lose their job, number one.
Well, no, they didn't. No, not in theory they didn't. The article read, and this was from Newsweek, that they were fined $400 first. They go back, and then they got fired for, something with the school. The school said, hey, you're representing this wrong. Then they got fired. I'm sure they were fired at the time. But according to the article, they got fined, went back, and then they got fired, Dave. And they
still haven't been sentenced yet either. They still haven't been sentenced yet.
So are you creating, like a teacher, you go to school to be a teacher there. You want to be a teacher, and then you get paid and you get raises, or you can start your own business and you get paid just like here in the States works. You get your own business, you make however you make.
Teachers over there, they're funded by the.
What about private business over there? Is there such thing?
Oh yeah, there is private business. It's not very much of it. Most of it's state. See, they moved from state owned, and then that's the reason the oligarchs became so powerful. Is that these were state owned, state run machinery like oil and gas and production, and all these were state owned. So they moved them to private owned. But those guys got major control of that privately owned, and that's how they became so wealthy, is because they were able to funnel all that, and they were appointed by the president and the party. So basically it was like, hey, you come work for me, I'll give you the oil and gas. You want to come work for me, I'll give you textiles. You come in, I'll give you coal mines. I'll give you metal, but I'll give you, and they basically handed them out that. That's what oligarchy means. So that's how they became in control and powerful. Those few. It is still resting in control of the few, and the many suffer underneath the political elite.
All right, yeah. So yeah, bad deal for certain teachers getting recorded. It's just odd. I mean,
see, I think the question first started out, I think it was kind of a trick question. They were trying to get the teacher in trouble because that stuff just doesn't happen.
That's a different kind of trouble, though. I mean, you're turning them into the cops.
Oh, I mean, that's like a whole different. You're turning them into the political cops. Remember, they have two different kinds of police there. They have the regular police, and then they have the political advisors and the political police, which is a different type. We don't even understand that here, but even in the military, they have political advisors that stand alongside the officers. They have two different sets of people inside their own military. They have the political police, they have the political officers, and they also have regular officers. So it's kind of crazy in their ideology, but they always want to make sure that the government is always viewed without dissent.
Hey, Dave. Well, we got like a minute and a half maybe before we have to go into break, and another sponsor by Utility Pro. Safety, fit, durability. That's what you think about when you think about Utility Pro. But Drive Safe, Dave, we did see freight kind of, at least last week, the end of the week, stabilize, went up a tad bit. Great news on that. We also saw that rejection rate climb all the way down to the low 11s now.
Wow.
Okay, so 11s now being rejected. And for those of you that follow BCB Live, that freight has been coming down significantly. And, what I'm going to do tomorrow, Dave, let's go Wednesday because we got Sheriff Lamb on tomorrow. On Wednesday, what we're going to do tomorrow, we're going to go with our earlier predictions of what we saw happen. And I'll say what I really saw happen at the beginning of the year and how that inflation and war really changed our projections from this year, from a can't miss year, right? To where it is today. And again, I'm going to go out there and say it's still not a bad year. It's just bad for those that bought on the very high end of the of the market, and that's that truck and that trailer market. Those folks are and on the high end thinking of the freight rate side. All of those have since came down. I was going to see if I had that. Nope. I had the article yesterday, Dave, but on Sunday's show, I flipped it up there. There's an article from February.
Right.
Okay, February like the 27th or February the 21st is what it was. And it was a Transport Topics headline, and it says diesel climbs over $4. That was back in February the 21st. Today it's $5.13, $5.14. And it made front news at $4 back in February 21st. Diesel's for real. That fuel price is for real. Dave, yesterday I filled up my tank yesterday, $95.01.
What do you have, a 30-gallon tank?
No, it's like 21, 22.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, 22 gallons. And it was all the way empty. Let me tell you, sucker was bone dry empty.
It's not good.
It was bone dry. My daughter took my car and she drove it somewhere to do something and came back and I knew it was already dry. Like I worried even getting home from lunch yesterday. But there was so much traffic. It was just horrible traffic. I said, I'll get it later on. I get home. My daughter takes to go pick up a friend and sends me a text. Hey, you have barely enough gas. And, of course, she didn't fill it up. So fuel is so bad, Drive Safe Dave, that my daughter's got a Jeep. And she loves the Jeep. And she drives the Jeep all the time. Except this weekend, she was driving everybody's car except hers because she has to pay her own gas. She's like low on gas right now. So she was driving my car, Mom's car. I was like, what are you doing driving everybody's car?
Because you don't want to have to pay for fuel.
Don't want to pay. That's how you know fuel's high. When your daughter, your kid doesn't want to drive their own car, they want to drive yours. Hey, Drive Safe Dave, we're going to come to a break and be back with Dale and a little bit of weather, and then we're going to hop in and go over some videos. This is BCB Live, the safest station in the nation.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI-certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear affords the wearer durable clothing with a great fit to afford the highest degree of safety. Get your high-visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount. This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI-certified, high visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility Pro Wear affords the wearer durable clothing with a great fit to afford the highest degree of safety. Get your high visibility apparel by going to utilityprowear.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
Hey, welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You got Double Check Dale here to talk a little bit of weather for you on this Monday morning. Hey, let's currently look at what's going on precipitation-wise. And this is a current view of the United States. Out west, Pacific Northwest is getting some snow, some rain. With snow mostly in the upper elevations, rain in the lower elevations. And that's going to continue on, and that's going to shift into the mid-United States a little bit later this week. Currently, if we're up in the Oklahoma City area going up through Tulsa into southern Missouri, you probably have some very strong thunderstorms going on right there in that corner of Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. Looks like some really strong storms going on there. Then down in the Mississippi Gulf Coast area, some thunderstorms in there. Also, Kentucky is picking up some thunderstorms right now. As we scoot ahead to this afternoon, let's see what precip looks like there. Like I said, out in the Pacific Northwest, that storm system starts to move further inland. Donner Pass up around Rio, definitely getting some snow. Higher elevations getting snow. Everybody else probably picking up some rain. The storms that were in Oklahoma have shifted a little bit further east. Now most of southern Missouri, northern Arkansas, and eastern Tennessee, or western Tennessee would be picking up some thunderstorms this afternoon forecast. Everything else looks pretty decent there. Going into that overnight hours, we get into that midnight to 3 a.m. And again, like I said, that storm from out west just keeps working itself further and further east inland. And so now in the overnight hours, most of Utah is going to see some precipitation in some form or another. Definitely snow in the higher elevations, as is western Colorado. Most of Wyoming is going to see some snow overnight. And then you see Nebraska starting to pick up a little bit of rain in the overnight hours. And those storms we were talking about in the Arkansas area have definitely shifted to the east. And now they're in the way far northeastern Mississippi, southern Tennessee, southwestern Tennessee, and very, very strong storm cells over there in Memphis this evening. So if you're in the Memphis area this evening, you will definitely pay attention to what's going on there. And then tomorrow, precip-wise, really that storm that's moving in from the west really starts to expand. Now we got most of Montana, Wyoming, Denver, or Colorado, North Dakota, parts of Minnesota and Iowa starting to pick up that precipitation, so that storm is really going on. And then Texas tomorrow afternoon looks like central Texas and maybe the Dallas area picking up a little bit of rain. And again, that storm lingering out in the east, Tennessee going into North Carolina. Winds have really been a topic of conversation for the past 2, 3, 4 weeks. Let's see what's going on with them this week. I think, we're going to start out with that storm system coming on board. We're going to see some winds out in the western area, western United States, and sure enough, we look at that, Colorado or California, most of Nevada, Utah, Colorado, the higher elevations, and Arizona, northern Arizona, really going to see some winds this afternoon, as is eastern Texas and Louisiana. Parts of Memphis and Tennessee where those thunderstorms were, we're seeing some very strong winds there. So, pay attention to your local weather. And if there's some thunderstorms in the area, be aware that there's probably going to be some high winds that go along with it. As we shift to this evening, right, around the 5 o'clock area, just look at out west and the southwest, how much wind and the gusts, strong sustained winds. And so we'll definitely keep an eye on that. If you're in those areas, be aware of it. Find a good local weather station. If the winds get too strong and you're light or you're empty, hey, think about pulling over, get it parked up, wait those winds out, because as you go into the overnight hours, most places you can see that they do die down in those areas. Tomorrow, the winds, by tomorrow afternoon, very, very strong winds in the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, most of New Mexico, Kansas, Nebraska. As we see that storm working its way across the United States from the west, the winds are preceding it, and you can definitely tell that. Probably a very blustery day for Dallas tomorrow. So that's what we have going on weather-wise, and we will take a short break and come back and talk some safety.
Good morning and welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive safe, Dave here on BCB Live with Double Check Dale. How you doing this morning, sir?
Hey, I'm doing very well this morning, Monday. Great Monday morning. Things are looking good out there.
Okay, so what are we talking about in safety?
We are going to talk about work zone safety. You know, it's that time of year where we're starting to see a lot of construction out on the roadways. And, you know, every year, over 700 fatalities happen in work zones each year. We have an ability to affect that just by the way we react to and approach our work zone safety, slow it down. Definitely, if we can take detours when we can.
Well, I will tell you that this starts Work Zone Awareness Week. So this is a perfect topic in order to talk a little bit about what's going on in safety. So whenever you're out there and you approach a work zone and you see these signs right here, work ahead, work zone ahead, construction ahead, any of these signs where people are out there getting the stuff done that needs to be done out there, you need to slow down and prepare yourself into that area because you never know what surprises may occur.
Yeah, I mean, if you go to 511.com, you know, most states have where their construction zones are and what their detours are posted. So a little bit of advanced study on it, you may be able to avoid some of the longer work zones and delays and plan your routes accordingly.
Yeah, you know, I think, and as we talk about work zones, we're gonna see more to do with them more and more as the law that is passed for the infrastructure bill, and they're going to be dumping tons of money into the infrastructure over the next few years. That just means what? More
construction zones, more work
zones for everybody out there. So you're going to see them, you're going to encounter them, and when you do, you need to slow down and be careful because people out there that do the hard work matter. They matter.
Yep, and then there's high fines that go along with it. You know, if you hit a construction worker, so there's some very high fines, possibility of losing your driver's license, and so you know, take that into account also. Just slow it down.
Depending on what state you're in, there are some states that mandate you will get some jail time. I mean, it just depends on what state you're running in. There are certain laws, certain deals, and I know they change and they vary drastically throughout whatever state you're in, but there are many states that will have a mandatory jail time, also have mandatory minimum fines and stuff like that if you hit a worker out there on the road. So you just got to be really careful. All right.
There we go. So let's take a look at some videos this morning. Now, this first one here, we're following a stock trailer. We can see we're coming up to a green light, a stale green light. And driver, you know, just have to be prepared to stop. We're slowing down to give this stock trailer room to turn. We start to change the lane. The video ends, but I can tell you just from watching it, he does not stop where this light goes through the yellow light. So just, you know, already slowing down. Take those few extra seconds, just stop and do the right thing because that's what that yellow light means. It's going to change to red. You need to stop. Don't change the lane to try getting around and beating the light through.
Yeah, you got to make sure, look, not running through, going through, or passing. We talk about this. We talk about still green lights. It's a big issue with us because of the dangers of intersections, and here it is. We're looking at it, and we're genuinely, we understand that, look, it's yellow now. Yep. 2, 3, 4, plenty of room to stop, plenty of room to control that lane. Yeah,
because the speed, we're already got the speed going down because the vehicle ahead of us is making that right-hand turn, so we're already slowing down. Just do the right thing. Stay in that lane and stop. You know, the next one's going to be the same thing. You know, we're coming up to that stoplight, the stale green light, it's changing on us, and instead of slowing down, you know, we start to pick up speed and we race through it, and that's not what that yellow light is about. That yellow light is to clear that intersection, to get you to stop. Don't lead other traffic out into it. Intersections are dangerous, and this is why. I mean, we had plenty of time to stop. I think if I counted out, it's 1001, 1002, just about 3 seconds there. And at the speed we're going, plenty of time to get stopped, and that's what needs to happen.
Yeah, I believe this vehicle actually sped up in the intersection, you know, to try to beat the light, to try to beat what's going on. And if you're aware of the yellow and aware of the intersection and the dangers that they impose, be the leaders out there, be the kings and queens of the road, and make sure you demonstrate on exactly what to do. Just take your time. Be patient, right? These areas are dangerous.
Yeah, and when you say be the leaders out there, that doesn't mean lead them out into a yellow light. That means stop it so the traffic behind you, you know, stops it. So, I mean, otherwise you're leading them through into the light. So.
Yeah, you want to understand that you're going to control that area behind you, and you know what? If somebody's directly behind you, they can't see that light.
That's right.
And if they see you speed up through the light, they're going to jump in behind you, and they're going to go right through the intersection with you, and you're leading them through a red light.
Yep.
So you play a big, significant part in the safety of everyone around you, no matter what you do out there on the road.
Next one here is just this white car plays zipper head, gets a lane change here. Another lane change, we see a white van going across a double white to make the exit pretty close to that barrier. I mean, a lot going on.
We got a lot happening out in front. So here we are. You got you got Mario Andretti coming up on the inside lane. Then you got somebody jumping out to make a hit the pit at the last minute.
Yep.
You got a lot going on, and you know what? This is what happens in these high traffic areas, right? You got so many different things changing, so many people doing what they shouldn't be doing and reacting weird around you. And I like how this driver is back, all the way back, slows down. Look how much room this driver affords themselves throughout this entire process.
Yep. Has the space, keeps the space, slows it down, sees what's going on with it. Just a great job by the driver here, because there is a lot going on.
There is a lot of chaos going on out there. And you're going to expect this as you move through some high traffic areas. But I do like how the driver has positioned themselves in a great, you know what, it's almost like a movie they get to watch of the Keystone Cops out there running around, jumping around, doing what they shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. And right here, we're coming up into an off-ramp, and the driver does a great thing. We start to see the truck ahead, signal that he's going to come over. Great patience here, slows down and says, hey, you know what? I'm going to show some courtesy. I'm going to let this vehicle come on over. We'll all get there. Politeness, courtesy, and patience, all three, the trifecta there.
Yeah, you know what? There's a lot going on here in this video, and there's a lot to learn here. You can see that it looks like the truck up ahead is in distress in some way, shape, form, or fashion for whatever reason. And our driver basically realizes they're not going anywhere, right? Moved over a little bit to avoid some of the conflict, but then all of a sudden realizes right here, okay, this truck's signaling, everybody's slowing, everybody's stopping. Why don't I just back off for a minute, give everybody a minute break, and does a great job of situational awareness here in the hammer lane on this road. I mean, I like the fact that the driver came to a complete stop right here, because you don't know what's going on. Nobody's blocking him right now, but he's not going to get up there and block. If he would have gone all the way up to the other car, he would have blocked that other driver over. So it does a great job of allowing the big picture to stay in effect and keep space in that lane. Look how far he is actually away from the vehicle in front of him. Plenty of room in there, even for a semi to slip in if it needs to.
Yep, just a nice job all the way around there by that driver. Here we got heavy traffic at night, and we see traffic starting to slow down. This driver keeps some nice space and slows it way down. And as we get toward the end of the video, we see something over in the breakdown lane. Not real sure what's going on with it, but I mean, just if that's a person or if that's somebody on a motorcycle, that's why it's so important to slow down and make sure that we have plenty of space. So if something out of the ordinary happens, that we have time to react to it. So another great job by the driver in this one. Right there, not
it's
sure.
It's so hard to see in those shadows and to understand what's going on. Those things just appear, and that road debris or whatever that is will surprise you. And remember, there's been a lot of wind going on lately all around the country, and you know what? Stuff can get blown easily into and onto the road, so you got to be really, really prepared. As we look at this video, there's a lot happening here as you're passing this truck. You're also trying to pay attention to what's going on directly in front of you. There's a lot of traffic, a lot of slowing down. Make sure you communicate with the people behind you at night, right? Hit the flashers if you have to, if you're going to come to an almost complete stop like this. I mean, look, I think they almost come to it. I mean, seriously, almost to a complete stop right there.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Slowed down. Just use the brake lights. Tap on your brakes. Make sure the people behind you are aware that you're slowing down. That traffic ahead of you is slowing. Because, like I said, if they're behind you, following close, they can't see what's going on around you, in front of you, and so you have to be their eyes for them at that point.
Yeah. So like when you do that slow down, like right there, right? When you do that slow down, and then you slowly start moving forward, well, you release the brakes. So people behind you can't see a brake light insignia. Now it just looks like a regular running light, so they don't know how fast you're going. But if you put those hazards on, you're warning them that you are not traveling at the normal speed. Hey, caution what's going on, because like they slowed down quickly and then they started to move forward slowly. Well, you release the brake. When you release the brake, you no longer have the brake lights in the back. You look like just a normal running. So that hazard will tell everybody, hey, caution up ahead.
That's right.
I'm running a lot slower than I normally do.
If there's something out there that we're slowing down for, we need to take our time. Be patient.
Absolutely.
Great videos this morning. That's a good way to start.
Oh yeah, they got some the good stuff. So maybe next week, hey, if you're out there, if you're listening to us, hey, this week we want to hear we got some Work Zone Awareness Week going on, right?
Yep.
Let's see let's see some of those videos out there that you can send some of your videos in on the Work Zone Awareness. We want to see some of the work zones that you travel through and some of the difficulties that you have. We know there's plenty of them out there. If it's safe to do so, let's capture some of those videos and send them in to us at info@bcblive.tv. Make sure you get those videos over to us so that we can show them this week, all week on as we talk about work zones.
Yeah, I mean, it's so interesting. I think back over the different times, you get into work zones where you have one-way traffic and you have the pilot cars, how that's changed over the years. In the old days, everybody had a pilot car. And now they give it to you hand a ring off to them. You got the flag person, they hand a ring off, and when you get to the other end, you hand it off, and then they know to send the traffic back. And so, I mean, you just have to be aware of what kind of pilot car, if it's one-way traffic, on when it's your turn to go.
Are you, there was a lot of places, and you talk about that, where you have the one-ways, where they do bridge repair.
Yeah.
And there's only one lane open on the bridge repair, and you're sitting there and you're waiting for a very long time, and then all of a sudden that long line, that snake comes through, and they come through and they release you. I'll tell you what, there is almost nothing more frustrating than just sitting there wondering where are those people on the other end of the on the other end of this runway. Why are they taking so long? But you know what? That's what it's all about. That's what we're talking about. You're talking about being a little bit more patient, a little bit more understanding about what we're doing in the work zones. What do you think is the most difficult work zone that you encounter? I'm just curious, as I'm trying to sit here and think about it, and I hate it when you have to leave the roadway.
Yeah, I think when they're doing bridge work and they make you do lane shifts, I think lane shifts are always dangerous anyway. And so if they're doing work on the bridge deck and they put you over to that shoulder right next to that Jersey barrier, and then they restrict it to about...
They squeeze it on you?
Yeah, about 8 feet and 7 inches. And so...
I hate it when they take the road surface and it changes dramatically. Like you're on highway rolling, and then all of a sudden, hey, you know what? Just come over here on the dirt. Yeah, just roll that 80,000 pound vehicle out here on the dirt. We think it's a good idea.
Yeah, right up to the point it rains.
Yeah, we think this is a good idea. So just roll that big dog right over here on the dirt, because it'll be fine, right? Because dirt works great all the time.
Yeah. So there's interesting ways. It's in traveling across the United States. It's always interesting to me. It was always to see how different states handle construction zones, how they mark them, how they flag them. Like you said, the detours they put you out on, some keep you on the concrete, some put you out on the dirt. I mean,
yeah, I don't like it out on the dirt. I never did like it out on the dirt. All right, so hey, this week, make sure that you're out there and you're paying attention. We are doing Work Zone Awareness Week. We're talking about it all week. We want to make sure that we continue to talk about it this week. Think about it as you enter into the work zone. We sit here and we bring up ideas, we bring up safety deals, but as you approach work zones this week, as you approach wherever you are, find out how many you actually enter and exit through this week. Try to figure out exactly as you're working today. You're the ones out there on the road all day long doing what it takes to get it done. But really, how many are you going through each and every day? How many are affecting you each and every day? I don't think I ever actually count what you go through. If you want to let us know, just send that information in along with your videos. I sure would like to know how many people actually go through, and deal with every day. Because you know what? It is going to increase tenfold, I think, over the next year as we get this
federal money put out.
This federal money dumped out, and all the bids come in. People are going to be all over the place, spreading out the goodwill, right? In the dump trucks and in the side dumps, end dumps, bulldozers, you name it. All that heavy equipment's out there, and don't forget the one person standing out there doing the work out there by the side of the road, making it dangerous for them. All right, I'll tell you what, we're going to go ahead and close with a quick prayer, and we'll be back here shortly. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today on this Monday to ask for your grace in all things. Father, give us the strength and the comfort today to go out to do what needs to be done and your will to do it. Father, we ask that you give us the ability to be safe and make great decisions. We want to do right, and we want to do right by you. Father, give us this ability to do this. Give us the know-it-all, the wherewithal to know what's going on around us, to make great choices and safe choices for each and every one of us. We ask all this in your name we pray. Amen. Hey, everybody, have a great day. We will see y'all later today or tomorrow. Bye-bye now.